Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again. Oh, okay. There we go. Okay. Always scuff. Welcome to the scuffed stream. There we go. Okay. Everything's working. I have not had time to actually set up the stream I wanted to do today, so the stream will instead be doing the setup, I think. I am also extremely exhausted. I got a lot on my plate, but we can have a little bit of fun here. See, everything's going right. Okay, cool. Going on YouTube. Okay. Just doing a little bit of setup. This will be a short one. Wow, I am really out of it. But yeah, short one. Doing setup for the next tech stream, Thursday stream. Okay, so in fact, there's one more piece of setup I need to do for this stream because why? There we go. Right. So let's run. How do I run things? There we go. Okay, now I need to set it up so that you can actually see the application as well. Ooh, that won't work, will it? I wonder if I should try using, like, web technologies to do this instead. I'm just gonna stick to what I know. Okay, is this going to dox me if I do this? How do we make this work? How do we make this work? I don't really want to do the thing that I did earlier. Yeah, I guess we have to do the thing. Okay, hold on. Hold up. Wait a second. I need a new virtual output. There we go. Okay, there we go. Okay. Move this over. There we go. Okay, you guys can see everything, right? Okay, cool. And then, save. Then I need a projector. Windowed projector. I do not need it to be that tiny. I need to be able to see what I'm doing. There we go. Just make that a little bit larger. Okay. No, that's not what I want. There we go. Okay. I also haven't slept at all since last stream, so if I seem a little loopy, that's why. So, okay, we run our test program. Is the music too loud? I can't really tell. Wait, why is it saying no output capture? Well, I hope you can hear the music. Oh, okay, I need to go over here. There we go, okay. I know how to do my hobby that may turn into a job someday. Yeah. Okay. It's all working. Now, so the idea here is that we're going to set up basically a clone of MS Paint from the you know what? Okay. Just do the stream. It's one of those things where you start trying to implement the thing and you realize, can I make myself slightly louder? Slightly louder, hold on. There we go. A little bit quiet. It's one of those things where you start trying to actually build the thing and then you realize, oh wait, there's a better way to do it. But we're just gonna do a straightforward brute force approach for now. And if I find time to actually set the thing up properly, because I do have some ideas, we may end up using web technologies instead of Python and Pygame, because I've been meaning to learn, and the side gig has been having me write a bunch of TypeScript, which is exciting. Got to learn a new language, so it would be a good opportunity to mess with that. But right now, we're just trying to get something done here. We got to have some kind of content for our YouTube channel, also our Twitch channel. Right, so let's see what happens. Honestly, okay. The other thing is, does it let me use? No, but it does let me use O4 Mini. So let's try out. It's this isn't really recent anymore, but relatively recently, OpenAI came out with some new deep thinking models. One of them being O4 Mini, which is supposed to be their state-of-the-art coding model. So we're going to try and use that to tell it to... Ooh, the other thing is there used to be a way, if and I'm sure there still is, a way to zoom in. Aha. Yes, because streaming is a visual medium, it turns out. I know. Okay, so this thing is supposed to be super duper smart, so I think we may be able to just tell it. All right. Use Pygame to build a simple clone of Windows 2000 era MS Paint. It should include all the paint tools the original did, including the pixel, by including the simple brush tool and the spray tool, and a color palette at the bottom. A color palette at the bottom that has a default selection of common colors, as well as some extra white selection boxes that can have the color, that can have custom colors assigned to them. Think your implementation, first think through the requirements here. In fact, I should probably tell it. The idea is that we are going to use this, is that this application will be set up to be controlled either by a human user using the mouse, or the tool use API of Claude 3.7. We're not doing the AI part quite yet. Just keep in mind that we will need to wire it up later while building the basics of the mouse-controlled paint application. First, think through the requirements of this application, and think and plan out the UI and UX. Then come up with a detailed implementation plan, bearing in mind the need for the tool use, so that a human and AI can have a paint off. We want them both to have access to the same tools, so it's a interesting competition. Interesting, fair competition. Nope. I am too exhausted to type properly. Bearing in mind the need for the tool use API integration. Then I will go over your implementation plan and make any criticisms I deem necessary, and then we can start Implementing. Alright, let's let that cook. It's going to take a little while. I might be a little bit quiet compared to, quiet as in not talking much, compared to my normal stream, just because I'm so tired. There we go, okay. Below is a first cut plan for our MS Paint Win2K era clone and Pygame. I've broken it into 3 parts: high-level requirements, UI UX design, mock layout and interaction flow, and detailed implementation roadmap with an eye towards plugging in AI tool use API later. High-level requirements: canvas area where drawing actually happens, bitmap backing surface, toolbox with at least the classic MS Paint tools, pencil, 1px dot brush, brush, variable radius solid round brush. He forgot about the line brush. Spray, randomized points and radius. Eraser, works like brush but paints background color. Fill bucket, flood fill. Color picker, line, rectangle, ellipse, all good. Color palette at bottom. Swatches, status bar, cursor display, frame cap, and clean exit. Yeah. Architecture that cleanly separates input tool logic canvas so that mouse events drive painting for a human user, and later we can inject commands via an AI tool use API. Optional stretch goals. No, those aren't stretched goals. I guess save isn't that critical. I would like to be able to save it out. I would like the canvas to be 1080p because it's going to be on stream. Well, but yeah, 640, 480. How big is that? We can make that a little bit larger. Palette, oh, yeah, okay, that's fine. Toolbar, selects tool, canvas, Create main.py to initialize Pygame, set up the display and host the main loop, reserve a Pygame surface for the canvas. Toolbar rect at top, UI drawing function, tool abstraction, define a base tool interface. Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, okay. Palette management. In palette.py, define a palette class that keeps a list of colors and custom slots, handle click events in that area, update current color. Okay. Event loop and state routing in paint.py, maintain global state, current tool, current color, brush size, all sounds good. On each Pygame event get, I think, yeah, that's good. If click in toolbar, else if, yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah. Rendering order each frame. Yeah, that should be okay. I'm just wondering, maybe it makes more sense for the canvas, tools to have not mouse move events, but like kind of handle the drag, because mostly what you're doing when you're painting is dragging, right? So, rendering each frame, clear the stream, split the canvas surface. It's actually not necessary. No, it's fine. Draw the toolbar, status bar, Pygame display flip. Plugging in the tool use API will expose a simple Python API and API.py such as and sounds good. Internally, these call the same methods as mouse events. Later, we can hook those into Claude's tool calls. The one problem is that I haven't firsthand tried to implement something like this, but the problem is that I do not have faith in Claude's ability to just output X's and Y's, you know? Just output coordinates. He's not going to be able to do that. So we need some kind of visual guide that lets it pick where on the image it wants to click. But we'll think that through in a second. In fact, yeah, okay, that can be in a layer above this API. That's fine. Internally, these call the same methods as mouse events. Later, we can hook those into Claude's tool calls. It doesn't use WebSocket. What the fuck are you talking about? On our direct function calls. Phase 2 polish. The one thing... Let's promote saving and undo redo to the First iteration, the saving is a dead simple operation, and undo and redo are pretty critical for the human user. The human user being me. Believe it or not, I do sometimes make mistakes. Aside from that, there's one paint feature you forgot. The paintbrush tool also had line brushes, diagonal and horizontal. Aside from that, your plan looks good. Start implementing. It's time to vibe code. Damn it, I thought I got rid of this one. Turn up a little bit. So there is some good news on the whole job front. My rent payment just hit. Oh boy. So I had a job interview just earlier. Well, what I thought was a job interview, it turns out that I had already been selected for the job. And so what I thought was an interview was, in fact, someone from HR going over my benefits. So the thing is, these people wanted me to, like, I've never had to do this. They're like, oh, we need to have documentation. Like, you need to prove that you went to college and graduated high school. And I'm like, okay. Well, the thing about that is, I didn't graduate high school. I got a GED. And I can't seem to get any transcript of my GED. So I can't prove that I actually have one. And I didn't actually finish college either. And it's funny because apparently I got this job through a third-party recruiter. Let me deal with this and I'll continue the story. Yeah, there's paint.py. Let's take a little look-see at this. I've scaffolded paint.py with canvas setup, palette status bar. Why did you scroll up? Pencil and brush with circular and four-line shapes. Undo redo via a history stack. In save to PNG. Verify everything runs. Add the spray erase. Fill and picker tools. Hook up toolbar UI icons or key shortcuts for all tools. Then expose the AI tool use API stubs. Okay, look at the code. I don't understand people who do this. Do you not know what file you're looking at? It's whatever. It's probably a holdover. I mean, there's a lot of people who use like Vim and stuff. I also am not super into the canvas being so small, but then again, because I stream at 1080p, 1080, it's not P, this isn't TV. I think we still call it 1080p. So we'll need to have both canvases on screen, plus the Bob Ross video. Did I ever explain the actual premise of the stream? The idea is that this is inspired by a stream that Vinesauce Joel did way back, like fucking 8 years ago, where he used MS Paint to paint along to a Bob Ross Joy of Painting episode. Now, I'm not sure how I'm going to get away with including the Bob Ross show in my stream without getting copyright fucked, but I mean, Joel got away with it back when he did it, so am I gonna get away with it? I don't know. I will probably have to like do some shenanigans and just like upload the video unlisted, like make videos and upload them unlisted to test whether or not I can get away with it. This may end up being a Twitch-only stream. Let me just take a little look. Hold on. Okay. We have 0 viewers on YouTube. Oh boy. History. See, I have 2 copies of the cursor on screen, so I keep clicking into the wrong one. So yeah, he's doing 640, 480, whatever. Love me some 480p content. Swatch size 32, palette height equals swatch size, status height equals 20 pixels, I assume. Window width equals canvas width. Yeah, okay. Wait, no, because the tools, like in the OG MS Paint, the tools were over to the left. I probably should have actually looked at his UX mockup. UI mockup, rather. I mean, it's okay for it to be at the top. Let's just let him cook. I have faith. So we got the history. Initializes with states equals surface copy. Yeah, that's a real API, yeah. Push, discard any redo states. Discard any redo states? Okay, yeah, that's fine. It's fine for an MVP. I really like the idea of having like tree-based undo, where you can, like, you do something and then you're like, maybe I want to try another way, so you undo, 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 undo. And then you do it another way and you're like, actually I like the first one better. So you undo, 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 and then you redo, 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 like you shift redo, and that brings back the first thing. But we can implement that later. Undo equals self-index greater than 0, self-index minus 1, return self-states index copy. Yeah, okay. That shouldn't, yeah, that should be fine. We're storing, 480p images, so yeah. That won't fill up the memory too fast. I have like 48 gigs in this thing, so we should be alright. Base tool, init, draw equals false, on mouse down, on mouse move, on mouse up. So yeah, that makes me think I would kind of like the tool API, the tool interface rather. API interface, same thing. To, instead of handling mouse downs, instead think in terms of strokes. I might need to think that through. No, yeah, no, that is the way to do it. Okay, I'll tell him that. And then the pencil tool. It's not like this is necessarily wrong. I don't know, maybe Claude has the, is this Claude? No, 04 has the right idea. Yeah, no, 04 is right. Never mind. Yeah, because when you do a single click and don't drag, you expect a mark to appear. So this is actually right. I would actually maybe prefer canvas color XY. Why did you set it the radius to 0? Maybe he knows something I don't. On mouse move, yeah. I would have used set at, but maybe he knows something I do. Knows something that I don't. Brush tool. Inherits from base tool, init, super init, self shape index equals 0. Why is he using indices? Def shape, return brush shapes. Okay. I don't know if I like that. That's not very Pythonic. Cycle shape, shape index. Sounds good. Draw brush. It would kind of be cool to... Yeah, okay. I have an idea. Here's the palette. Okay. And then he's only giving me 4 custom colors. I'd like at least 8. More like 16, probably. Draw for ID color and enumerate self colors. X equals ID self swatch size. Y equals canvas height. Rect equals pygame rect. What's the API for draw rect? Is this right? If I mark this up inline, is the what is this rect doing? What is this rect doing? That's the color input. Why is he drawing a black rectangle? Is this an outline? Yeah, okay, that is what it is. Except, yeah, he's using, okay, that's fine. And then pick, self, mouse X, mouse Y, if not canvas height, da-da-da. Return none. Return index. Okay. MS Paint clone, clock. Gets us a surface that is the, yeah, it sounds good. Canvas fill with white. Initialize all objects. Tools, pencil, and brush. Current tool equals pencil. Palette equals palette. All sounds good. History equals the history, yeah. Font equals Pygame font sysfont. I can fix this. This is going to use a really ugly built-in font. I can fix that by hand. Run equals true. Actually, I'll just tell him that. Run equals true while running. For event in Pygame event get. If it's quit, quit. If it's a key down. Okay, sounds good. Okay. Control Z. I don't know how I feel about this. Okay. Right, Can I mark this up inline and he sees it? I'm not actually sure if it works that way. Let's try it. I believe you can just get the mods from the event instead of calling get mods. Let me just mark these so he actually sees them. What is this? What was that? Computers, man. I hate them. And control save saves it to that's interesting. That's fine. Pygame. No, it's not fine because remember we're gonna have 2 of these running. No, it's fine. Pygame image save, all fine, all good. LF event type equals mouse button down, MX, MY equals event pause. If it's above the canvas height, then it must be, if it's greater, oh right, because it's, yeah, down. If it's below the canvas, then we send that to the palette. And if it returns an index, that becomes the current color. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. So let's tell him that. But no, we can tell him that in an earlier part of the code. Record state for undo. Yeah, no, that's okay. Sounds good. Mouse motion, event pause. If mouse Y equals canvas height and event buttons 0. Why did he? Oh, yeah, that's okay. On mouse move, yeah. Mouse button up. On mouse button, okay. So one thing is that screen fill 200, 200, 200. Yeah, that's fine. Canvas, draw status bar, font render, screen blit. Oh man, my head's spinning. Clock tick FPS. Yeah, this mostly looks good. My one concern is here. I'll copy this and then I can use that. How will this work with the spray tool? How did the original MS Paint spray tool work? Did it only work if you were moving the mouse? I don't think it did. Yeah, it didn't. If I I'd like to be able able to control the, to hold the mouse button down without moving the mouse, and the tool will keep spraying. Can you stop with that? Criminy. I guess... Yeah, no, okay, he could do it that way. Yeah, I think I know how he intends to do that, but I'm just leaving him a note. On mouse down, drawing equals true. Right. Yeah, no, that's one way to do it. No, that's valid. This is... The pencil tool is completely fine. The one concern I have... I would... my first impulse would be to use set at instead of draw circle. Not saying you're wrong, but I'd like to consider the pros and cons. Sure. Brush tool, property shape. For the... I do not like all this C-style index stuff, not Pythonic. I think... Not Pythonic. What if we instead just store small bitmaps as tuples of tuples, and that bitmap is the brush? And then, what if we instead actually... Okay, what if we instead had the brushes be small? The problem with that is the scale. No, that should be fine because, well, the way he's set it up is that the size is a parameter. How is he doing this? If shape equals circle, Pygame draw circle. If shape equals horizontal, start. No, you know what? The way he's done it is fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Let's just store the current shape as a string directly. Unless you have a good reason not to do it that way. And then the palette. Similarly, don't like the index stuff here. Either. Yeah, it's fine. Can we just store the color directly? Store and pass around the color directly. And then everything else looks fine. I reviewed your first draft and left some notes marked with "Can you see them?" Please feel empowered to push back against my suggestions. We're collaborating here. Not there, here. Let me drink some water. Drink some wander, as the Zoomers would say. Oh, Lordy's yapping. I do see all of your notes. Great feedback. Don't say that to me. Here's my take on each. Continuous spray. You're right, modeling spray's motion only misses the classic auto spray when you hold the button still. I'd propose adding an optional on update hook to base tool. Yeah, no, I was right. That wouldn't work. To base tool, the main loop calls every frame if tool drawing is true. I'm not super sure how... No, that's fine. Tools that need continuous action can implement it there. Pencil brush would leave it empty. Spray would generate points each tick. That's fine. Pencil, set add versus draw circle. Both will put pixels on the surface. Set add is the most literal one-by-one operation, but it can be slower if you call it thousands of times. And you lose the tiny fade edges you'd get from a zero radius circle. But draw circle 0 is common and GPU accelerated. What does he mean, fade edges? Okay. Brush tool shape storage. Using an integer index over a list of shape names is a C-style pattern, but it keeps cycling logic trivial. If you'd rather do and then uncycle, that's more Pythonic, although it... Buddy! No. Palette, storing index versus direct color. Right now I kept both current color index and current colors so that when we do custom swatch editing later, we know which slot to overwrite. If we never need to edit by slot, what? Oh, no, okay, I think he's misunderstanding the UX that I intended. If we never need to edit by slot, dropping the index and just storing RGB everywhere is simpler. My thought was index will be handy once we right-click to edit custom slot 17. But why? Using event. Let me know which of these you want. The speed of the microsecond speed boost of your index-based cycling doesn't matter because it's a user-triggered operation. That happened. It's an operation that happens once per user input. I see what you're saying about indices in the palette, but I'm not actually sure why, but could you clarify how you expect it to help us implement the right-click to set custom color if we just right-clicked, then we know where the user clicked. It's not clear how the index-based approach helps us. Maybe I just don't understand your vision. What you said about using draw instead of set at makes sense. We'll do it your way. Make the adjustments however you see fit given my feedback. Yeah, so it was odd because oh, and the guy who wanted me to like be part of his consultancy has I haven't heard from him, so I don't know if he just forgot about me or he's like, wait a second, why, he changed his mind or he's just busy. He's probably just, I mean, now that I say it out loud, that's probably the most likely is he's just busy. He hasn't sent me the thing yet. I'll follow up with him tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, right? Yeah. But yeah, this company. Now, this company, I don't super want to work for them. But they were nicer to me than I expected them to be. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just being overly negative. I don't know. But yeah, I didn't realize that I had already been picked. I thought I was going to do an interview, and it turned out that they were just going over the process of onboarding me. So they say they're going to get a... Well, the thing is, right, I have to... Like, this has never been a problem before. Even in my first ever job, they just hired me. They didn't ask about my GED or anything. I just showed them... Like, I showed them some of my code, and they're like, yep, that's code, all right. Did you write this? And I was like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Would you like a job? And I was like, yes. Yes, I would. But these people are a little more old-fashioned, I guess. At least they're not asking me for references. Because I think that's what happened with that company that said that they were going to hire me and then disappeared. What probably happened was that one of the references I gave them, they just never managed to get in touch with the guy, so they just gave up on me. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how much of an issue they make the whole you can't prove you have a GED thing. Oh, a GED is, in the US, a GED is basically, it's a test you can take instead of going to school. Because I hated school, and basically someone told me, hey, you can just take the GED and just go to college early. I'm like, wait, you can do that? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, crap. I took a GED practice test and got 100% on my first try, and if I remember right, I think I actually got 100% on the GED test when I took it. The problem is, I'm not even sure that the high school that I took my GED test at even exists anymore, so... I know you can, like, there is a central storehouse of those records, so maybe I just need to pony up the cash to get my GED transcript, but we'll see. We'll see if they make an issue out of it. We'll also see if they just disappear like everyone else does. Because right now, that's what my money is on. They'll just disappear. I've switched palette pick back to returning the swatch index so that on a right-click, we know exactly which slot and palette colors IDX to overwrite with a new RGB tuple. Alright. If we only return the color itself, we wouldn't know which position... I don't understand... Okay. I'm just gonna let them cook. Change is made. Palette pick now returns an index again. It always did. Introduced a pick color dialog stub. Okay. Mouse button down, left click selects a color, right click pops the dialog, and writes back to palette colors index. Okay, I see. Yeah, okay, he's right. Next steps, unless you'd like tweaks here, flesh out the actual color picker GUI and pick color dialog, add the remaining tools, spray, eraser, fill. Okay, that all sounds good. Let's run what he's got. We will... Why can't I... what is happening? What is happening? Oh, No, I'm not in the wrong window. What is happening? What is happening? Stop. Cease. Do not. There we go. Okay. I was scrolled up. That was the problem. Paint.py. Okay, this looks okay. MS Paint clone. And then dooba-dooba-doo. Yeah. I would like more than 4 custom colors. Just ran your code. Looks good. Only tweak I'd make is that I'd like about 12 custom colors instead of just the 4 you've implemented. Yeah, we can do an aesthetics pass later. Other than that, carry on with your plan as you described, as you said. You know, back when I was a kid, this kind of music was because I didn't have any money to buy music. This was long before Spotify. You remember rap? Wow, that's a hard word to say. Rhapsody. Remember that? I was around for that. I had a Rhapsody account, in fact. And remember Groove Shark? I miss Groove Shark. Groove Shark beat the shit out of Spotify. Problem with Groove Shark is they let people just upload. I don't know what possessed them to do this, but they just let people upload music to it, so it was full of copyrighted music that they didn't have the right to, so they got sued into oblivion. Like, what did you think was going to happen? But man, I miss Groove Shark. Spotify sucks. I've bumped the custom color slots from 4 to 12. Now you see it's total of 28. Let me run that just to see. I don't think you did, unless it didn't apply. I think he cranked it up, but he forgot to, yeah. Your added custom color slots do not appear on screen. That's gonna make things a little more difficult. Well, that's fine. We're gonna have to make the palette widget have multiple rows of swatches. Yeah, it was this and music that I found on... Oh no, Newgrounds, yeah. I had a... This was back in the day of MP3 players. I had a little Philips MP3 player. That thing was indestructible. It was this little... It was like the size of a pocket knife or a comb, and you could plug... It had a 3.5-inch TPN socket, just regular headphone socket. It took a single AAA battery, and it would last a month on that thing. Smartphones are kind of a downgrade. I had a dubstep remix of Call Me Maybe that I would listen to every morning that I found on Newgrounds. That's probably why I'm so fucked up. I've updated the palette so it spans 2 rows. Palette height is now swatch size doubled. The draw method wraps the swatches. The pick method computes their own column. Let's run it. No, that's not right. Oh, it's still running. Oh, well, yeah. All right, looks okay. May as well. Let's fill the bottom, in the OG MS Paint. The default swatches took up the left-hand rows, and the right were left white for custom colors. Let's implement it that way. Filling in the second, empty space on the bottom row. with more custom swatch. This. You can add more default colors as well. It's not typo. Not rows, columns. He'll understand. Can't brain good right now. Man, have I been streaming for an hour? Criminy. Time flies when you're having fun. I'm going to step away for a second while he thinks this through to offload some water. I have returned. I want to make sure I get the layout exactly how you'd like. Let's just find a picture of what I'm looking. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see, images.google.com. MS Paint 95. Oh, I'm misremembering. That's interesting. Ooh, what's this? Oh, that's cute. Ooh. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. Hold on. Let me just pull up. Find a picture that works here. Here. Copy image. Back to my Twitch display. Here we go. I'm not sure when Cursor gained this ability, but you can actually paste in images now. There we go. I'm actually misremembering if you insult the provided image. Nonetheless, I like the idea of having a bunch of Was it a configuration option in the original? Of custom slots reserved. I actually typoed. I actually said rows when I meant columns. The left half of the columns will be the default colors. The right half. That shouldn't be a semicolon. That should be a period. The left half of the columns will be the default colors. The right half will be left white for users to add their own. Defaults. you choose 24 defaults, they'll fill up the top row. Alternatively, it will 6 for my emoji paint. Yeah. Wait, can 04 see? Probably, yeah. Can't imagine why not. The other big piece of good news is that the channel has finally crossed 100 subscribers, so that's exciting. I didn't really expect to get this far this quickly. I mean, it's been, what, 8 months? Hopefully we probably aren't actually entering an exponential growth phase, but I'm going to tell myself that we are. But no, what got us over 100 was probably just a one-time boost from posting those highlights in the discords of the games that we were playing, Peripetia and XCF. Gotta make time to make more highlights. That stuff takes up time. Of course, if I start getting paychecks, I can probably just pay an editor. But I would like to do it myself, if I can find time. I've restructured the palettes of the grid. Is split in 2 column halves across both rows. Yeah. That looks good. That looks absolutely fine. Looks good. Continue implementing. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see, anything else cool I can podcast about before we let the robots handle our work for us? I'm getting a little worried about AI, honestly, as a programmer. Because, man, this thing is actually pretty good at its job. I'm pretty sure I'll be alright, because really... Because what I actually do is not... Like, typing in the program is not the hard part. The hard part is figuring out what the customer actually needs. But I mean, the AI is pretty good at that, too. We'll have to see what happens. And pretty soon, Neuralink will be coming out. I mean, pretty soon. It'll probably be decades, but... Considering how screwed up my hands and eyes are, it would be nice to be able to bypass those. What would be really nice would be the ability to, have my Neuralink hooked up to my phone or my laptop, probably my phone, and be able to do this, AI code, while I'm just going for a walk in the woods. Because you can't do that now, because you cannot type and walk at the same time. I guess I could set up a voice interface. Actually, I could do that. That would be an idea for a stream. Also, where is the, Ooh, I should send him a picture of what he's actually got here, because... he actually screwed up a little. code. Alright. I notice that the tool selector is not showing up at the top currently. Alright. It's working. The tool selector is not showing up at the top currently. Okay, does that kill? It does. It does kill. Man, he takes his time. They might be throttling access to 4.0. 4.0 mini, rather. Oh, 4 mini, rather. 4.0. It's very open AI of them to have 4.0 and 0.4. Yeah, he's doing a real good job. This would take me a couple hours probably to get this far on my own. He just spits the stuff out. Not a couple hours, like an hour and a half. Of course, it's been an hour and a half. So, It may not be any less time, but it's certainly less effort. One flaw in the way we're doing this is that we are letting the context get pretty long. I guess I'll see. Oh yeah, he's starting to make mistakes already. So I'm not 100% certain. I guess I'll just have him spit out the rest of his plan and paste it into a new session. Yeah, I think he's starting to lose track of the code he just wrote. I keep getting closer and further to and from the mic. Probably shouldn't do that. But man, my back hurts and I'm tired, so I am going to lean back. I am a leaned back developer. You know, the thing that is most frustrating about, to me at least, about the new 4.0 image output is it can't make images that are the right size for YouTube thumbnails. It makes them in, it can only do 16:10, and YouTube wants 16:9. Like, it makes 1080 by 1240, where I need 1040. 10, 12, 1240, 10... Oh, going insane. At some point, I really would like to start the marathon playthrough. I don't know if I want to set that up on Fridays. Probably, yeah. That's going to involve a whole lot of reading. Maybe I'll just do shorter streams. Marathon. I mean, Marathon is a... Those games are pretty short. Even if we did short streams, we could probably knock it out in a couple months. We gotta strike while the iron is hot if we're gonna take advantage of, grift off of all the money Bungie's putting into SEO for their game. Yeah, he does appear to be losing the plot somewhat. Do 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 do. Good old Keygen Jukebox. Is Keygen Jukebox back? I remember someone said it was. Let me look it up right now. Right now. Keygen Jukebox. Yeah, it is. Neat. Okay, let's see what we're looking at. Okay, that's a little questionable, but that's fine. That's fine for now. We'll do a... Like, we're just trying to get the thing working. We'll do a looks pass later. So all of this works. Did he implement the right click? No, he didn't. That's fine. So we got our spray. We got our... Oh, he did actually implement it. So here we go. Okay. So we can... Let's have a happy little sun up in the corner. Give it a pair of sunglasses. Did he give us a way to adjust the brush size? I don't think he did. Hey, you like my drawing skills here? Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's sunglasses. That's what those look like. Okay, we're gonna have a happy little tree. But first we'll need some happy little ground. Let's switch to the spray tool for our happy little ground. There we go. This is the riveting content you come to my stream for, right? He didn't actually give us a brown for the trunk, so it's gonna have a dehydrated piss yellow trunk. That's fine. And then spectral green leaves. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I mean, that's a paint tool. It works. And then what happens? Does the color picker actually work? Yeah, it does. Neat. Can I flood fill? One thing, actually, that I notice... Hold on, wait, the pencil isn't even working. Yeah, the pencil doesn't work. So yeah, if I move the mouse too quickly, you see it gets spotty. I think we need to do some interpolation and think in terms of strokes instead of just pasting circles where the mouse is. Alright. Checked it out. The toolbar is there, and it works. Only, I noticed that, all the tools work correctly, except the pencil. It doesn't draw anything. The other big issue is that if I move the mouse quickly while painting, the paint skips. The cursor has moved too far between frames. Maybe we need to rethink how the tools work, thinking in terms of strokes instead of instantaneous cursor positions. Or we could fake it by just interpolating between on mouse move calls. No, it's not. Mouse move calls. I feel like defining the API in terms of strokes will make things easier when it comes time to do the AI integration, though. Thoughts? I shouldn't have given him 2 things to do. That's one big tip. If you're doing any AI coding, try not to give it 2 things to do, because that seems to massively increase the probability of it making a mistake. Only give it 1 thing to change at a time. Nah, he did switch to set at. I thought that circle trick wouldn't work. I was right all along. So AIs won't be replacing cyborgs quite yet. I've also been working with this company that, should I say this? Oh, no, I can't talk about that. Never mind. Never mind. Now, suffice it to say, I've been working on some interesting AI-related stuff for a startup doing some, let's say, some relatively spicy prediction work. And I don't think it'll go anywhere. But the guy isn't going to pay me until he gets investment, and I strongly suspect that he's never going to get that investment. So I'm never going to get paid, but it's still a resume builder. I agree, both to get the pencil behaving correctly and to set us up for a clean human AI stroke API. Phrasing? It makes sense to move from a draw at each mouse event to a true stroke. Okay, yeah. I think it's about time to wrap this up. Receive. Okay. Yeah, I think, receives a stroke start at X0Y0, receives 0 or more stroke move events, receives a stroke end. I feel like I'm having a fucking stroke. Under the hood, each tool can interpolate between those points so you never get gaps, and can also do continuous effects, spray, in on-update, or at whatever resolution you like. So here's the refactoring I'd propose. And keep, in base tool, replace on mouse down to on stroke start, on stroke move, on stroke end, and keep an on stroke update that the main loop calls every frame while the stroke is active for things like the spray's dots. In the main loop map, mouse events into those stroke calls. Mouse button down, yeah, it's all pretty obvious. Every frame of the stroke is ongoing. Call on stroke update. Rewrite the pencil tool. That'll fix. Yeah, sounds good. Implement. Probably get some dinner going as well. I have an old steak I found in the freezer. I don't know if it's still any good. Oh, and I got that turkey. I should probably eat that. Yeah, I think I have some tortillas lying around. I can make some turkey tacos. That'll be good. Alright, here we go. Does the pencil work? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Does the fill tool work? Yes, it does. Excellent. This is actually looking pretty good. We got our eraser. We got our spray. We got our brush. Ooh, the brush is still a little gappy. That's interesting. I think he may not have implemented the and then the picker. Don't care about the picker. So the pencil works perfectly, but the brush is still a little puntillist. Looks good. One last fix. Last thing. The brush shows the same issue. The looks good. The pencil works perfectly now. Let's also update the brush tool since it has the same issue. Refactored the brush the same way as the pencil. It's a little annoying how sometimes he runs it for me and sometimes he doesn't. Right, pencil's good. Brush is good. Looks real good. Yeah, this looks good. Man, this is actually really cool. Do the alternate modes of the brush? Yes, they do. As a matter of fact, they do. And you can change it in the middle of a stroke. That's not right. What's going on there? And then fill tool. Alright, there we go. If I was a former president's son, I could sell this to some Russian oil company for Mondo money. Yeah, I think we can call it here for tonight. This it basically works. We just need to wire up the AI and then do an aesthetics pass, and honestly, yeah, then it's done. I knew this would be simple, but I kind of thought it would take longer. But yeah, that's our paint tool. So I'm hoping that why did OBS just explode? Okay, I'm not gonna worry about it. Not gonna worry about it. Yep. So, hopefully I will find some time to finish this up off stream. If not, then the next tech stream will be finishing this. Otherwise, the next tech stream will be the Bob Ross paint-along. So I hope you come back for that, everybody. But until then, I will see you all next time.